What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is having a great evening out there. Glad to have everybody here for another update, my friends, as we do have ourselves the potential for a bit of severe weather popping up here, actually a little higher north than usual. So we'll be talking about that here in a moment. But anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and jump on into it, my friends. Let's go ahead and see who we got hanging out here for today. Let's go ahead and first of all change this. I'm going to actually put up my data feed before... Oh, wrong thing. Let's bring up the data feed before I forget. Anyways, guys, what's up, everybody? Let's see what we got here for today. We got ourselves Aiden. We got ourselves Brooklyn, Brad. Let's see, MP, Kim, Kid Storm coverage. Aridimus, I think is your name. We have Raid, I think it is. John, Tiffany, Brooklyn. I think I already said some of you guys. My bad. Let's see, another John. We have Pete, Kid Storm coverage. We have Maggie. We have Joyce. We have Mazio. Let's see, Allie, we have Pete, Alice, what's up, guys, and everybody else who I accidentally may have crossed over. My bad, y'all, but what's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. So we're going to jump to the models. Like I said, yesterday we did a live stream where we were talking about there's a potential out there for maybe a bit of severe weather that could pop off across a bit of the Ohio Valley, actually. Maybe portions of the Midwest and the Southeast here. Models are still talking about it, actually. Like I said, we've been watching this for a little bit. There does seem to be a little bit of an open window for the potential of maybe a few isolated severe thunderstorms that could happen as far up north out there towards like the western Ohio Valley. So that could be area like areas like Indiana potentially, maybe Illinois. As far most high, probably as high as like southern Michigan, but that's still a little kind of ruled out at this, or I should say ruled out. It's still kind of unknown is what I meant to say at this time being, because, the models, thermodynamic-wise, there's not a whole lot of instability up in this region here per se, and there's also a cap. But like I said, models like GFS has never really been the best at really showing the instability and all that. So I'm really curious to see what the NAM, like the mid-range models, and whenever they come in. But yeah, no, this will be taking place here for Friday, you guys, kind of late Friday. We have a potential of maybe a few storms that could fire off even late Thursday, potentially across portions like Missouri and portions out there by Iowa. But at this point, it's kind of you should be taking out with a grain of salt at the current moment. But yeah, so the main event here, like I said, will be for Friday. This will be tracking all the way down from possibly even Texas, all the way through Texas, possibly Louisiana, Arkansas, maybe Mississippi, maybe Tennessee. We'll have to see how things play out here. Possibly Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, maybe Western Ohio, and Southern Michigan. Those are the kind of the areas I think is probably going to be at some form of potential, maybe seeing some storms out there. Anyways, let's see here. I said your name 2 times. My bad. Yeah. Like I said, my memory is terrible. Plus, going over a lot of people, it's like you end up forgetting. I just go down the line and I just say whoever I see, so that's why. Anyways, but yeah. So, like I said, we have instability there. Also, what's a little concerning is the wind shear. We do have ourselves a bit of a shortwave trough. In this case, here, got ourselves kind of a main detached trough that's kicking off across the regions here. So what's going on is essentially we got ourselves a low pressure system that's going to be located. Get it located with a low. Anyways, pretty bad puns there. But this low pressure system is going to be tracking its way here to the northeast over the northern plains, which will be bringing obviously the potential of even some snowfall. Actually, a little bit of snowfall can't be ruled out as well out of this storm system. This will be mostly just for the Dakotas, though. Maybe North and South Dakota could be a possibility. Prepper says, hello, my online family and friends. Ate Chinese food an hour ago. Way too much. Now an hour later, hungry again. That's how it goes. That's me. Let's see here. Send East Tennessee snow, please. I don't think East Tennessee will get snow anytime soon. I mean, we're not tracking any storms out that way. But anyways, but now you got me hungry, Prepper. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, so like I said, we have a lower level jet in this event too. Lower level winds are, supportive enough for some storm organization, even with low amounts of instability. Typical cold core setups here, don't usually have as much instability, and also the dew points, our lower level moisture supply is actually pretty low. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about is the dew points. You can see those dew points actually getting up into possibly like the lower 50s, which, for a cold core setup, that is kind of the realm of, cold core setup storm activity. Now down south, we have a bit more of a rich moisture area, or a moisture rich area across like Texas, Louisiana, where some of those other storms could potentially pop off. Now, if we're gonna talk about like the greatest severe potential out of this potential event here, it would likely be in the south, out there by like Texas, Louisiana, possibly Arkansas, Mississippi, some of those regions out there. Now, save the European model. We're going to talk about Euro here. I do want to pull that up and kind of see what we're talking about here. So that was a GFS model. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. That's the main long range forecasting model we usually use is GFS and ECMWF. Also Icon, a lot of other models like GDPS and all kinds of stuff like that. But we're going to take a look at Euro. I'm curious to see what the Euro has to say really about this. Yesterday it was supporting it as well. Both the models, I made sure both the models were supporting it before we even mentioned this. And like I said, it's really not too far out either. Let's see, we're going to actually go ahead and backtrack to the previous run here. Let's see here. Rain, thank you, dude, for being a Category 1 member for 9 months. Saying, has my rainfall totals gone up at all, Andrew, in northern Wisconsin? You mean like in the future? For like seeing any event or anything like that? We do got ourselves that little system, what we're talking about. Maybe driving. That's actually the storm system we're currently talking about. It'll probably bring you some rain, my friend. You'll probably be getting that here probably right around the 8th or so. Around the 8th or 9th. So could be a little something, but for now it's just pretty calm conditions. But that low is going to start to build in here for basically day after tomorrow, for the February 7th, and then working its way in. Let's see, but yeah, let's go ahead and go back here to the European model. So this is ECMWF, and yep, Euro still shows it. A bit of a pocket of instability. Like I said, it's really low instability, and that's just typical cold core setups here. If you have a low instability or low thunderstorm fuel environment, mixing in with some pretty decent wind shear, you're going to have the potential out there of maybe seeing a bit of a bit of organization still to occur and actually severe weather popping off. Look at this. So here's the lower level jet stream according to the European model. Once again, there's that low going right over Minnesota here, really cranking up them winds in the lower atmosphere, about 4,000 feet up in the air, which we are getting those winds here about 40, 50 knots or so. About 40, 50 knots. So that will definitely be supportive of, like I said, some organization. Now, tornadoes in a cold core event is obviously possible, but I think these storms are going to be mostly elevated, meaning that they're probably not going to have too much tornado potential on them if they did occur. I think the main problem here is going to be actually damaging winds. I think the main problem here is just going to be a potential for damaging wind gusts overall, but it's definitely something to still look out there for, as still some damaging storms will be quite possible overall. Let's see here. hello from Central Louisiana. Try and get some sleep and rest, please. Oh, I did. I did. No worries. Let's see here. Let's see here. See if I can. Okay, Prepper says, well, at least Southern California has been very delayed fire season this year, but all the rain is in the deserts is going to cause a heck of bushfire season over there. Well, the lakes are going to be starting to get filled with all this rain, which is going to help a bit. I love sleep. Me too. Lately, I haven't got too much of it. Well, today I did, actually. I slept a long time today. Like I said, I'm sleeping all during the day and awake all night now. That's my new schedule, apparently. So, you know, it shifts all over the place, dude. Like, if you know me very well, you know that my sleep schedule is all over the place. Sometimes I'm awake all day, asleep during the night. Sometimes I'm asleep during the day and awake during the night. It's like I'm always all over the place there. But anyways, no, the low-level winds, the wind shear in general, we call it, basically just winds across the atmosphere, is going to be pretty strong. I mean, look at this thing. We have ourselves a pretty strong jet stream kicking off here, really, really deep low pressure here, or really deep, I should say, jet stream here, which really digs its way into the south here, which that will, like I said, the winds will definitely be enough, considering how much, wind shear we do have in the atmosphere. The little amounts of pockets of instability that does reach its way up there towards like Indiana and Illinois and possibly like Michigan and maybe even western Ohio here, and portions obviously further down south. Like I said, right now that's in place. That's definitely in place. I want to see dew points on the on this model here. Let's see. Oh, I thought that said surface. Oops, surface, and we'll do dew points here. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the dew points here. The GFS shows in the 50s. Yeah, there you go. So you can see all that moisture advection. So as that low pressure system swings through and it's actually pulling up all this moisture, you can see how the dew points get well up into, like I said, portions of the western Ohio Valley in the lower 50s, which, like I said, this is a cold core setup. When you have dew points in the lower 50s and all that stuff, with that cold front interaction and all, this is basically screaming cold core setup potential. Across some of those regions here. I think, honestly, like Michigan, I'm not too confident on you. Same thing for Ohio. The areas I'd say I'm mostly confident for this happening would probably be like Illinois, Indiana, as far north being. Maybe, obviously, Missouri. I do think that Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, possibly Arkansas could also be getting a bit of potential for severe weather here come Friday. So we'll have to watch out there for that. But I think, like I said, once again, I don't see too much I don't have too much confidence on like Michigan or Ohio per se. But but that's that. Let's see. What's up, April? Hope you're doing good. Maggie says, thank you for the info. No problem. Good night, all. Back to work for me. All right, sounds good, Maggie. Thanks for joining. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Are you sure what the probabilities might be? So, like I said, right now there's no breakdown for potential of severe weather, considering this is for Friday and it's only Monday. But when it comes to it, like I said, I personally think the main threat's going to be damaging wind gusts. I think that damaging wind gusts is going to be the main thing. Let's see. So that looks like a severe weather setup potentially. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking out there for. Let me actually bring up instability on GFS here again. We're gonna pull up the instability values here and see kind of how much we're dealing with here. There you go. So yeah, GFS really does, like I said, once again, there's not a whole lot of instability with this event, but it can be worked out. It can be worked out in some cases, especially with us having that strong wind shear that we do have. I do think that there could be some, obviously there's going to be pockets of higher instability that's going to occur across some of these regions, which will allow, if all conditions are met, the potential for some severe weather to occur. It's definitely possible. All right, let's see here. So Panama City, Florida could get tornadoes again. I wouldn't go that far by saying all that. Panama City, Florida, yeah, like I said, honestly, I don't even think you guys are going to be too much in the concern for any more severe weather. Like I said, this is mostly going to be kind of like a concern. Oh, didn't mean to grab that. This is mostly going to be kind of like a concern from like Texas through Louisiana, Arkansas, portion of Mississippi, maybe Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana. Still, like I said, not really too confident on the fact of like Ohio and Michigan getting it, but it's possible, I'd say. Let's see. Brad says, have a good night, Andrew. Everyone going to sleep. All right, sounds good, man. Have a great night. Let's see here. When the winds pick up due to severe thunderstorms, can you feel the pressure get lower? Some people can. Some people can. Actually can cause headaches and stuff like that if rapid pressure changes. But me personally, no, I can't really tell. Good evening, Teresa. Hope you're doing good. Alice says, how much cape for stronger storms with cold core setups? I've seen, like I said, I've seen events pop off in a cold core setup with little instability as like 300 joules per kilogram. I mean, I've seen it happen with very low ingredients in place. You can see here, though, in this case, I mean, we could have some of the instability possibly working its way up there to nearly 700. Now, obviously, that's a bit of a, just a tad bit of a cherry-picked sounding there, we call it. Once again, you can see dew points in the lower, really low dew points in actually the upper 40s, which is very low. But you can see the temperatures, ambient temperatures, 61. These are going to be elevated storms because of how low of humidity there is at the surface due to the spacing between your dew points and your ambient temperature outside. So this is basically going to, allow for those storms to be relatively elevated, and I think that the tornado concern probably, even though the wind shear theoretically could support a couple weak tornadoes, I don't think the thermos do. And like I said, this just leads me to believe that I think we're going to mostly see a overall, like I said, I think this is mostly going to be overall a damaging wind threat overall, maybe some small hail. April says there's no percentages for severe weather in the 4-day outlook. Yeah, so a 15% risk would be equivalent to a slight risk. I mean, they're not going to issue a slight risk this far out for a potential cold core setup. Now, I personally, I don't even think it's going to get up to a slight risk. I mean, I think at most this is going to be within like marginal level. This is probably going to be like a marginal risk for severe weather, but it's just very uncommon because we're talking areas that rarely gets thunderstorms this time of the year. That's the really concerning thing. That's the really interesting thing about it. But yeah, no, yeah. So if the SPC was to issue that 4-day outlook, which this is for Friday, so this would be 5 days? Day 5. So yeah, day 5. This would be equivalent to a slight risk, which is a level 2 severe weather. Let's see. Do I think anything will happen in Missouri? I mean, when it comes to it here, the models, they are talking a little bit of potential of maybe a bit of instability rolling towards Missouri, but honestly, like I said, I don't have too much confidence on it. You're building a gingerbread house? Nice. Nice. St. Louis. Yeah, so we'll keep it out there for. I mean, some of the models do support a bit of instability working out that way, but just because there's instability does not always mean there's going to be severe weather. But yeah, so I mean, when it comes to it though, I think it'll be more towards like Indiana, Illinois, possibly like Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. That's kind of like the main areas. Some models like the GFS did show maybe a little bit of instability. This is probably hardly anything to work with really, but maybe the potential for actually Thursday night. Of maybe a little bit of storm activity popping off, maybe in southern Iowa, maybe northern Missouri, but yeah. Let's see here. I actually want to see what. Hold on a minute. We're gonna hop over here to where's that precipitation? Here we go. Composite reflectivity. I'm curious to see what this model has to show us. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you can actually see it right there, that line that develops there. Like I said, this is a cold front, by the way. Like I said, this is a cold front that is, driving all this activity. There it is right there. Yep. So there's that potential line of storms that could roll through here. So yeah, get lots of headaches when weather comes through. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people who does. There's a predictability too low on the day 48 outlook. Yeah, which obviously means that it's too early to, issue. Like I said, I personally don't think they're going to issue a slight risk on it, though. That's the thing. Alice says, I remember one time I got like 8,000 cape, and I thought there was going to be a big event, but the storms died out because of high cape. I I mean, if you have that much of cape, it was actually, Alice, it was probably caused by a lack of wind shear. I've seen a lot of events play out with a lot of cape and no wind shear, which allows for that warm uprising updraft, that vertical column of air that's rising up into the cooler environment. It sinks back down on itself, because what goes up must come down. I mean, obviously that's just classic, terminology there. So obviously the warm air that's coming up, it cools down. Then because obviously it cools down, it sinks back down. Hot air rises, cold air sinks. So the hot air rises up in the atmosphere, it slows down, and then it starts sinking. Now, if you have your winds that they're not there, that's going to allow for your updraft. So that warm air that's rising, and then the cold air that's trying to come back down is going to go right on top of that warm air that's rising. So it's just going to kind of smush it down like a pancake. Now, if you have winds, obviously if you have that warm air that's rising, the winds is going to help arc your updraft, allowing your cool air to come down over here while your warm air is still rising over this way. Hopefully that makes sense. I could actually draw a demonstration for that. Let me actually do that real quickly with you guys. Let's see here. I'm going to bring up Classic Paint. Classic Microsoft Paint here for this. But yeah, let's go and do this. So like I was saying, high cape environments here, which obviously this is not the case in this case here. But like I was saying, is you have your warm air that rises, right? So it rises, warm air going into the cooler environment here. And then obviously it slows down because it's getting colder and it needs to fall back down. So in a low shear environment, your cold air that's sinking is going to fall right next to your warm air that's rising, right? And of course, whenever you work your way down in time here, if you work your way over to a different event here, that has higher wind shear with the same amount of cape, you can see how your updraft would be arced. Because say if we have strong winds pointing this way, that warm air is going to continuously rise in the atmosphere, but it's being pushed by the winds, and it's allowing your downdraft, which is over here, to be separated from your updraft, which is over here. Does that make sense? So if you have no winds, it's just going to go up and fall right back down on itself. Yeah, hopefully that makes some form of sense for you guys. Anyways. Let's see. What's the 4 out of 5 for? It's a flooding threat. We have a moderate threat still in effect for California. We'll actually take a second to look over there real quickly. We still have a lot of flash flood warnings in place. Dude, California has received anywhere from like 6 to 12 inches of rainfall. They have been getting slammed. Oh, look at this. 6 and 11 inches of rain has fallen across the area. Yeah, it's been really nasty. And that's just rainfall over a flat terrain. I mean, you got to think of the hills and the depressions. Obviously the valleys. So the water that falls on the hills runs down to the valleys, which makes it even higher than that overall. Let's see here. Brandy coming in with a $4 Cash App donation. Thank you so much, Brandy. I appreciate that very, very much, my friend. You definitely didn't have to do that for supporting us. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Brandy, the other day, whenever you sent that donation, it didn't come through until after I streamed. So I don't know if you saw my wall I put up there on the community page. I gave you a thank you for that donation as well. I specifically made a post on my community page to thank you for the donation that you gave me the other day. But this time I'm glad that it actually alerted me. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it, my friend. So big shout out, huge shout out goes to Brandy for the support over the last couple of days. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Yesterday they close to 900,000 with that power. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I did some coverage on it this morning, giving you all an update on it, but that was like an early update. I mean, that was like 5 a.m. So I know most of you guys were obviously asleep at that point, but for the people who were awake and obviously were a bit worried about the conditions, that's why. Anyways, but yeah, so there's the line like I was talking about here. This is going to be happening here basically for late Thursday. I think really Friday is going to be the main event here popping through, so we'll have to obviously be weather aware out here. But yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out there for that overall. Let me go ahead and actually hop back over here. So like I said, here's the instability. Once again, the instability that's available is really not the highest. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot of instability that works its way up here into this region here. But like I said, it is enough for isolated severe potential. And maybe in terms of seeing some damaging wind gusts, I think it's going to be the main concern. Maybe some hail as well. Some damaging wind gusts and some hail as well. I think it's going to be like the main problem here. So we'll definitely watch out there for that overall. And like I said, the lower level winds here too. I mean, we have a pretty decent, little jet stream here. So we're talking about like 40 knots of lower level winds around 4,000 feet. That can get some organization going for sure. I mean, with the little amount of instability we have, if you have a high shear environment, meaning strong winds across the atmosphere, if you have a high shear environment, that basically is saying that, without whatever little instability you have, it can turn into potential severe weather. Like I said, you don't need too much instability for a cold core setup. And in terms of that, like I said, our dew point temperatures, with all that moisture that's advecting into the country, you can see how we have this frontal system here. So we have a low pressure system that develops over here. Your cold front would be right here. That would be swinging to the east. And of course, with what's going on here is you get colder air coming down from the upper northwest, up there from Canada, and you'd have warm air bringing up that moisture coming in from the Gulf, actually, bringing up a lot of warmer, moisture-filled air, tracking its way up here into the country while the system does work its way to the east here overall. But yeah, you can actually see that moisture being advected right at this particular frame. You can see all of that warm air coming up from the Gulf and shooting straight up into the central country. And at that point, while we have the cooler air, so cooler air overall coming in from the backside. So this would be right where your cold front's at, right in here. And of course, our low pressure system would be somewhere up in this area here, which, these guys in the northern hemisphere, these low pressure systems, they rotate counterclockwise. So you can kind of envision it, kind of just a big mixing. Think of it as like a mixer in your kitchen. Obviously, how it rotates and mixes up things, because you're actually bringing down the cold air from the north, because it's actually pulling it down, depending on how strong that low is, which it's supposed to be a pretty strong low pressure system. So it's bringing down a lot of cooler air and it's actually bringing up a lot of warm air here. So, and of course, we're having the interaction between that cold, dry air from the behind and then that warm, moisture-filled air in front, which is two polar opposites to one another, which is basically allowing for the instability to be growing in those regions there. And not to mention, with that low pressure system existing, the winds that's bringing up this moisture is actually pretty strong. I mean, like I said, we do have a pretty strong jet stream across the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere here. So we're definitely looking at some pretty pretty high shear environment type of stuff here. Let's see here. Do I think Bowling Green? No, I mean, like I said, Alex, honestly, I wouldn't be worried about it for you. Right now, like I said, the reason why the SPC hasn't issued 15% risk is because I don't even think it'll get up to a slight risk. Like I said, the reason why we're really talking about this is just because of the fact, well, I mean, obviously there is probably a slim chance for severe weather out in these regions, but it's just the fact of getting strong thunderstorms for this time of the year is completely unheard of in some cases. I mean, like, you rarely hear about getting thunderstorms up in the Ohio Valley for, like, early February. So it's a pretty crazy event here. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, there is going to be the threat, I think, for potential marginalized severe weather. I mean, at worst case scenario, like I said, I mean, maybe slight, but I don't even think we'll get up into that territory, honestly. And that's the reason why the SPC has not issued that. But they did mention the event, and they did say that there is a potential for marginal severe weather on it. Like I said, day 5 is the day we're looking out there for, which is Friday. And they actually have a thing called predictability too low, which meaning right now it's too hard to tell if we're going to need a risk or not. Meanwhile, day 4 is potential too low, meaning that the potential is too low for severe weather. Now, day 5, the day we're forecasting, predictability too low. So it's different, completely different. Let's see. But yeah. But anyways. Ohio is coming home from the NBA game. Nice. Hope you enjoyed it, Ohio. Pretty cool. I'd love to go to a Heat game here soon. Heat's my team. Always has been, dude. Always has been. Let's see here. But yeah, like I said, guys, I just really wanted to talk about this with y'all. We are going to do zip codes. I mean, I'll let you know if you're in a general area. I think there could be a bit of potential. We'll do a couple of zip codes here. I'm not going to spend too long on them today, but we will go over them here, a couple of them here and there. So if there is an area that you want me to take a look out there for, let me know, and I'll do that for you guys, because like I said, at the end of the day, the main point of this channel is to make sure you guys obviously understand what's going on. Do I duck and cover on Friday? No. Nah. Yeah, it's none of that. I mean, this is an event you shouldn't be worried about, really. I mean, this is just going to cause some marginal potential of severe weather, kind of low-end event. This is not going to be an outbreak or anything like that. I mean, I didn't say outbreak in the title. I said potential of a severe weather event, which is going to be low-end severe if it does happen. Which, seems quite likely, considering we've been watching this for the last couple of days, and high shear environment, low cape, which is typical cold core setup for this time of the year, and dew points in the lower 50s, which, yeah, I mean, that's screaming cold core. All right, chronic 38343, 38343. All right, so you're up in Tennessee. Let's see, are you in western side? So yeah. So, like I said, the models do say a bit of instability could work its way out there. The GFS in particular has a pretty capped environment over your area, which is basically a blanket in the lower atmosphere preventing thunderstorms from happening. It all determines if that blanket is broken, if that cap is broken. But right now, I don't see too much support for your area getting any potential severe weather. Now, you might get some storms here, maybe Friday. Yeah, it's possible, but you're in an area I'm not really too concerned about. But yeah, anyways, you're going to notice the temperatures actually getting a bit warmer. That's something you definitely are going to notice here. Look at this. So here's actually the temperatures for late Friday. Look at this, you guys. This is kind of what we're looking out there for. We're going to see that strong low pressure system in the mid 990s. So it's a pretty strong one, pretty strong low pressure system there. I mean, we're seeing these temperatures, look at this, all the way up there towards Michigan, not Maine, seeing the mid-50s. Mid-50s out there in central Michigan, dude. Crazy. Look at this, upper 60s, maybe even lower 70s across, like, Illinois and Missouri. Like, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty warm. That's definitely going to be bringing up a lot of warm air from the south. I mean, you can see these little wind barbs here, like I was showing. They're pointing to the north, and in this case, they go over here. So you see these little wind barbs. You can see the cooler air coming down this way. So in this case, our cold front would be like right here. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool overall. Pretty warm, I should say. Anyways, all right, let's see here. Who's next? Zach, 77340. Okay. Is that another Tennessee one? That's a Texas one. Never mind. Let's see. So East Texas, gotcha. So you're out there in this region. Well, obviously, yeah, it's gonna get pretty warm for you too. Honestly, yeah. So there is a window there you can see that's open for the potential of maybe a bit of severe weather to occur. This is low instability. Not a whole lot. Here, let's move over here. Not a whole lot of energy available. But let's go ahead and grab a sounding. We'll just check and see. I want to look at the environment for this given moment. I mean, this is one model after all. Dew points are supportive, obviously. Yeah, dew points are richer down south, closer to that advecting point of moisture coming from the Gulf. Let's see here. Yeah, the instability though, it's too weak, and it's pretty elevated too. I don't see too much of a problem there for you, man. But we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, obviously, things can change. Once again, GFS has never really been the best model to look at, thermodynamics and stuff like that in like kind of mid-range severe weather events. I really like to look at it whenever it comes to the point here of NAM. Here you go. Here's actually NAM talking about it. You can see how NAM, so the end of the NAM model is starting to reach into Friday, like later Friday, but you can see how the instability does build into these regions here. Let's see here, eastern Iowa. This one shows a bit of instability up over 500 joules, which that's doable. I wouldn't call it a lot of energy, but it's doable. Especially given the wind shear environment. Look at this. Yeah, this model, the NAM, actually has that trough here, showing potentially 40, 50 knot lower level jet, which that could definitely cause some pretty interesting activity. Let's look at the dew points here. Now remember, this is not during the core time of the event. This is just the model getting to that part of the event. But yeah, look at that. You can also see all that moisture advection there popping up. I mean, we got ourselves all of that moisture starting to really dig its way up here into up into portions of like the western Ohio Valley, like Illinois and stuff like that. Once again, I mean, dew points are not that great. They're basically in the lower 50s, I mean, upper 40s, which, I mean, a cold core setup does warrant, dew points in those values, with all the little instability we have and the strong wind shear that we do have. The odds are definitely there. Odds are definitely there for potential severe weather. Anyways. Let's see. What are the chances of getting a little snow in Mid-South with the Arctic blasts people are saying coming? Yeah, so I did hear about that as well. A lot of people were talking about that cold air coming down. Got a new GFS run coming out. That'll be pretty handy. Let's hop over here real quickly. So here's the kind of the full view. Let me bring up thermos. We're going to look at the anomalies here. This is basically showing us, above and below average temperatures overall. So the blue is showing, cooler than normal temperatures. This is data taken all the way from 1981 to 2010. That's just kind of the data that's been collected in the model here. But anyways, yeah, so the blue is showing cooler than normal data, or sorry, well, that too. Cooler than normal temperatures. And warmer than normal across the kind of reddish color. But we work our way down in time here. I mean, this is pretty far-fetched, honestly. I mean, this is like really far out there, as you guys can see. I mean, this is like for like mid-February. You know me, I don't like looking too far out there. Whenever it comes to these models and stuff like that. But to me, it looks like it's going to be relatively warm, warmer than normal over the next couple of days, or several days, I should say, for sure. Let's see here. Predictions of El Nino could last through April. Yeah, that's possible. Definitely possible. I'm thinking it's going to switch to neutral conditions probably by like late spring, early summer. Let's see. Supercell, let's see. 76513. Got you, man. 76513. Texas. All right. Okay, so you're out there by kind of central Texas. Yeah, so we were mentioning those areas as well. Like I was saying, for you, honestly, I wouldn't expect much out of this event for you. If we're going to get severe weather that's going to happen in Texas, it's more going to be towards like the eastern side, I think. More out there towards like the coastal areas of Texas. I mean, given you're like basically like central Texas there, I think we're mostly... switch over here. I think we're mostly going to be in the realm of, essentially, I think we're mostly going to be in the realm here of, not really too much of a good potential of anything happening for you. But let's see. We'll bring up convective and, hold on. Precipitation. Simulated reflectivity. I'm curious to see what the NAM shows with this here. Yeah. So once again, the main event here, doesn't get shown by this model because late Friday is the main event. This is kind of showing morning for Friday, so this doesn't quite reach the main event here. But GFS, on the other hand, I mean, GFS was showing that bit of a line rolling through and all that, but maybe some scattered thunderstorms. But yeah, GFS is not the model to look at for all that. Let's see. Keep in mind, SPC/NWS discussion kind of says the type of severe weather is uncertain due to the uncertainties placement of the low pressure. Well, no, the models are pretty certain on where that low pressure is going to be. I mean, we can look at it right now, actually. I'll show you. So there's the GFS, and you can see the last couple of days here. I mean, the low is expected to be right around Wisconsin. Right around Wisconsin. This has been the last several GFS model runs here. Let me show a different model. Here's CMC model, kind of showing it in that same area there. Icon showing it in the same area there. I mean, it's pretty well known where it's going to be. Let's see here. Teresa, let's see, 47879. 47879. Gotcha. Indiana. Okay, so southwest side, yeah. I would keep an eye on it. I mean, like I said, this is not going to be a massive outbreak, guys. I mean, this is not going to be like a severe weather outbreak or anything like that. No, I'm not saying that. It's just going to be kind of like a lower end potential of severe weather that could occur. Now, the instability does work its way out there towards your region, as you can see. Is it a lot of instability? No, but it is kind of a classic cold core setup here we're talking about. So for that particular time frame, we're talking about 500 joules per kilogram of instability, which I've seen it happen. I've seen severe weather pop off in that, but what really gives the system a bit of a push here is the fact that the winds are actually pretty strong. Pretty strong winds. I mean, lower level winds, about 40, maybe, like 30, 35 knots or so. Or sorry, 35, 40 knots, my bad. So pretty strong lower level jet. I mean, even the NAM shows it up to nearly 50, which is pretty crazy. And of course, the mid-level winds here too. Really strong jet of mid-level winds. So yeah, no, it's there. It's definitely there. I mean, the winds are there. The instability is quite low, but will be organized fairly well due to the amount of wind shear that we do have available. Now, dew points, like we were talking about, in cold core setups, dew points are always lower than your classic severe weather setup. I mean, we're talking those dews here possibly up there in the range of around the lower 50s, which is pretty common for cold core setups. Let's see. Katrina, Rita, and Andrew were all during El Nino season. Wow. Yeah, typically El Nino's seasons are not as active in the tropics. You get La Ninas that are the most active in the tropics because there's something we call trade winds, which is basically winds rolling from the east to the west across what we can call it the equator, near the equator, which obviously those winds, if they're too strong, any convection that's trying to organize itself, if the winds are too strong, it's just going to rip apart those storms and send them scattering, which that would basically ruin any chances of a tropical system being developed. Now, whenever it comes to the, like I said, that's during La Nina season, where you have not as much wind shear, not as much strong of a trade winds, which allows storms to actually have time to gather themselves together and actually kick off. But anyways, let's see. What's up, Darian? Hope you're doing good, man. But yeah, so that's what's going on there, y'all. Sorry, I just got here on late, but thanks. No problem, Supercell. Anytime, man. Joyce, did we already do your zip code? 78393? Doesn't sound familiar. 78393. Texas? Okay, yeah, we didn't cover this specific area. Yeah, I mean, like I said, coastal Texas, if there is a potential that we could get a bit of activity, severe potential. Once again, not a lot of instability. There's that window for late Friday where the cap does break and does allow for the potential of things popping off here. But like I said, once again, I mean, obviously, the GFS has never really been the best model at depicting this. I mean, last several severe weather events we've forecasted here, GFS has never really been a good one to show you exactly what it is. But we'll see whenever, like tomorrow we should have a much clearer understanding of what we could see. Because like the NAM model, the NAM is already starting to reach to this event here. It's just kind of in the morning portion of Friday, which obviously things are capped out because the temperatures at the surface are still relatively cool. But once those surface temperatures start to rise and heat starts to rise in the cooler environment, that's when the cap breaks. And whenever potential of severe weather starts is later on in the evening, whenever the temperature is the hottest. Let's see, 45431. Okay. 45431. Gotcha. Ohio. So so like I said, confidence is not too high for Ohio personally. I don't think that confidence is gonna be too high. I do think there's a potential though, given the fact that the models do show some instability working its way out there towards western Ohio. It's like I said, really not a lot of instability. I mean, it's low end amounts of instability here. But overall, I mean, like I said, given the wind shear, how strong it is, you'd be surprised with what kind of things can pop off in a low Cape high shear environment. Let's see. Scotty wants me to take a look here at 93309. All right, let's see here. California, gotcha. I guess you're talking about the flooding for you. Yeah, you guys been getting slammed down there lately, man. It's been pretty brutal. Here, let's go and actually move this here. There we go. Yeah, so you're right in that area. The models. Here's the HRRR. We're gonna be seeing ourselves. A bit of rain continue for a while. For the next day, it's gonna be kind of obviously it's gonna be kind of spotty per se. You know, so you're going to see a lot of heavy rain showers, and then you're going to see breaks in between. But that's going to continue from now until here. We'll actually load the 00 Zulu run, the 0 Zulu run. Which this one, yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of rain showers for quite a few days now. Let me look at the flooding threat for you. That's kind of one of my main concerns for you, my friend. You're actually in a level 1 threat, so you're not in the bad stuff really, but you do have a small threat for flooding out there. So just, you know, if you live in a low-lying area, you know, just be extra cautious. But if you don't, then this is honestly nothing really to worry about. Also, you know, if you see flooding, avoid going to it. Now areas down there towards like you know, Los Angeles and stuff. We have a moderate still, level 3 out of 4. Mine says 4 out of 5, but that's equivalent to a moderate risk, which is for flooding. Let me turn on the town names here. Yeah, you can see Los Angeles is still in the heart of that moderate risk for flooding. It's been pretty bad out there, man. Been pretty bad. Let's see. Anyways. What's up, Roadster? Hope you're doing good, man. Glad to have you here. Rain says, I hate gingerbread houses. Did it fall or something? I've always hated making them, dude. So annoying, man. But anyways, y'all. You guys got any questions? Feel free to let us know. Also, it shows like there might be, GFS has been showing a little bit of a heavier pocket of instability. Kind of for Sunday, which is obviously a little too far for me to look at. I mean, I really don't like looking this far out, but I've noticed previous of model runs shows it as well. There's the 12 Zulu run, the 6 Zulu run, you know, does show it as well. A bit of that little pocket there, but as you can see, all of the latest models do show that system happening. Like there's this one, there's that one, there's this one. So the instability has been very consistent on the models. So that's how we know that this is a good potential. Let's see here. Landscaping. Say hello. Just randomly found your channel. Is this the USA? Yes, it is. Yeah, we cover the main 48 states here in the mainland U.S. We don't cover too much of Alaska or Hawaii because, you know, information out there is a little harder to come across. Well, not as hard to come across, but it's a lot more. Well, yeah, it kind of is actually. Most of the data we have is mostly for the main 48. Let's see. But glad to have you here, Landscaping. Hope you're doing good, man. Let's see here. Thanks, Andrew. Glad to be here. No problem. No problem. Scotty says, thank you. Absolutely south. My location has been getting slammed. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they've been getting really hit hard. Yeah, yesterday we had that that high risk, my bad. That level, the maximum level for flooding out there. It's been getting really, really nasty out there. We did receive reports of about anywhere from 6 to 11 inches of rainfall near the hills of Los Angeles. 6 to 11 inches, y'all. That's unbelievable. Let's see here. Crystal says, smash the like button, subscribe, share merch. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Appreciate it. Have fun, Rain. All right, so yeah, so like I said, you know, the instability does work its way all the way up there towards like potentially Michigan. Once again, confidence for me, I mean, I don't think confidence is too high for areas like Michigan. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's too high. I mean, the supercell composite does show a bit of the mixture of ingredients being available. Once again, like I said, this is not going to be a massive outbreak. I want to make that clear right off the bat with you guys. This is not going to be a big severe weather outbreak or anything like that. This is going to be like a low-end marginal potential of severe weather. Kind of like a marginal level of severe weather. I think we're probably going to get a level 1 threat. Could extend maybe up into Illinois and Indiana. But like I said, it's a little too far out to talk about all that. But I think there will. I think there will be at least a marginal risk being issued for some of these regions out there. Let's see, I'm not from America, but hello from the Faroe Islands. What's up, Landscaping? Hope you're doing good, man. Glad to have you here. It's always cool, pretty cool seeing people from around the world joining us. So it's good to see you, man. Hope you're doing all right. Hope everything's well with you. Let's see. Thinking of working at Norman. Good luck, Aiden. That's a very high. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's a pretty high competitive job. A lot of people want to work at Norman, but you got it. You can do anything you put your mind to, man. You just got to work hard at it and wait for the opportunity is right. You got it. You can do it, man. But like I said, it's just definitely not going to be easy. Let's see here. I mean, even just getting a weather service job in general is pretty difficult to come across. I mean, I've tried before. It's like really difficult, because if you want to go to a weather service job, you need to, first of all, I mean, if you're in the region to the weather service you want to go to, more than likely they don't have job openings. And if there is going to be one that's going to be available, it's going to be somewhere that you don't live, and it's very far away. So that's always been the problem. See here. Yeah, but good luck, man. I just want to prepare you, Aiden. I mean, I just want to prepare you for it, man. Like I said, I mean, you're going to figure it out sooner or later, so you might as well know now. But, I mean, you can do it. I believe in you. Have to have really good grades. Well, that also, and if they have openings available and stuff like that. But anyways, y'all, well, it is getting kind of late here. I guess we're going to probably roll off here pretty soon. I'm going to order me some dinner, actually. I'm going to probably get me a burger or something tonight. So, and courtesy and thankfulness from proxy. But yeah. If you know any jobs in the weather field that doesn't include storm chasing or crazy math, please let me know. I mean, storm chasing is kind of the one that doesn't require crazy math, but I mean, you at least got to know what you're gonna do. I don't know; it's kind of hard. You're kind of really narrowing it down a bit. Let's see here. Crystal says, "Ready for spring." Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, me too. See, I'm tired and I'm curious what's going on. So, like I said, we're watching out for a small potential. Like I said, it's not going to be a severe weather outbreak or anything like that. There is a potential out there for maybe a bit of storm activity working its way up here into, possibly like Indiana, Illinois, maybe Michigan, maybe Western Ohio. But I think it's more going to be specifically for like these areas here. Could also work its way down to the south here too. There's enough instability, so enough energy for potential severe thunderstorms. But what really gives this event a nice sparkle to it is the fact of how strong those winds are across the atmosphere. So in this case, this is a mid-level, so middle atmosphere here. Winds are pretty fast moving, which is going to allow for these storms to be relatively organized and all that. But since this is mostly a lower storm top type of event, meaning that the storms are not as tall as usual thunderstorms, we really need to look more at the lower level winds, like 4,000 feet up or so, which they are moving. They are moving. So when it comes to it here, since those winds are really moving off, they're pretty good. I mean, we're talking 30, 40, some cases, like I said, some cases actually nearly 50 knots, according to like the NAM model and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, winds are there, man. Winds are there. What's up, Jack? Hope you're doing good, man. I'm in Memphis. Gotcha. Let's see here. Let's see. March 1st is meteorological spring. Yeah, we're getting there. Getting close. I'll be here before you know it. I'm personally ready for it, dude. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for storm season and all that stuff. Oh shoot! Also, now this is a bit far-fetched, guys, but this is something I did want to mention a little bit. I was looking at this here earlier before I went live when I was browsing the models and all that stuff. Let's go back to 18, so the other run's still coming through. But there's going to be a possibility for another big soaking event down in the south. Just a bit of a heads up to the south here. I mean, this is for February 12th. I mean, obviously this is not like, obviously this is not like a immediate event per se. But we are seeing the potential out there for another pretty soaking event. I mean, first of all, we have this big low pressure system right here. This is going to be the main driver, the potential of severe weather that could occur across these regions here. There will be a bit of snow potential on the top, mostly for like the Dakotas, maybe even eastern Montana. A lot of the upper elevations here of the Rockies is going to be seeing a lot of snowfall out in those regions there. But when it comes to it here, I mean, there's going to be the potential for obviously a bit of a soaking of it down the south. There's a bit of snow on that, but if you look at the previous model, that wasn't even there. So, like I said, obviously I wouldn't go off of that. But yeah, so there will be the potential. I mean, the last couple models did touch up on it here, as you can see. Let's see here, specifically the last. We'll have to drop back to 12 Zulu run here, showing it. 06 Zulu, I don't think showed much of it. It does. It still has it a little bit, maybe a little bit later on. But anyways, once again, still a little far fetched. And you know me, I don't like looking far out. But it's just a little bit of a heads up. There could be some more precipitation out there. Let's see. I'm moving to Oklahoma on Sunday. Oh well, best of wishes and lucks to your moving, my friend. Let's see. Yeah, Aiden, I wouldn't get happy about all that, dude. Like I said, I guarantee you with this new GFS run that's coming through, it'll be gone. How much you want to bet? I'm willing to bet like $10 that this is going to be gone by the next model run. That snow potential we were looking out up there for. Let's see, hold on. 18, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that showed that snow near those regions. Aiden, I don't think you want a tornado. Rain says, "Do I hate gingerbread houses too?" They could be annoying putting together. I haven't done a gingerbread house in like so long though. It's been like years. Let's see. Is there a big pattern change in mid-February? Well, models were talking about it, but it's a little bit far-fetched, I should say. What I will show you though is the CPC outlook. Here, let's go ahead and hop you guys over here back to this. So this is kind of more of an extended range look at things. I'm going to go ahead and pause the time frame here. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring up the forecast, and we'll pull up the days 6 to 10. So basically 6 to 10 days from now. So basically not this week, but kind of next week overall. Precipitation is going to be a bit more dry actually out west. We're going to start to see things finally calm down for next week out there in the west, and it could be a bit more rainy across some of these areas here. The gray colors, normal conditions, not above average, not below average, just kind of normal rainfall, but a bit more above average throughout the light green and the darker green areas here, which is going to be a bit more rainy here overall. And of course, whenever it comes to, let's see here, the temperatures for next week here, it's going to be a bit cooler across the west, and actually things are going to be warming up a bit across the north and the east, man. It's going to be pretty nice. Pretty nice for some of us here. Now, as we work away from days 8 to 14, so basically for a week and a half away from now, almost 2 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, things are going to cool back down for the south, and we're going to see a bit more cooler conditions here in the long range. So this would be actually, this would be right around like mid-February here, is what we're talking about. So kind of cooler conditions across a lot of these regions, maybe slightly warmer up north and across the west here. Now for mid-February, in terms of like precipitation and all that stuff, I mean, classic El Nino, man. Classic El Nino type of shape here. Mid-February here. I'm going to continue to see that subtropical jet here driving a bunch of precipitation for the south, southwest, kicking back up in the upper northwest and portions of the northeastern United States. It's going to be a bit more drier than normal towards mid-February here. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. Let's see here. I'm thinking this might go slight. Do I think the storm system will too? No, I don't think it'll go slight. I think it'll go marginal. I think it's more of a marginal risk for severe weather. I mean, but it's going to be higher up north than normal. This what makes this thing kind of interesting. Anyways. But yeah, guys, I think we're probably getting ready to roll off here. I mean, we have been live here for about an hour. It's our typical cutoff point for our forecast live stream. Like I said, it's getting late too, and I'm getting hungry, so I need to order me some food. So I'm gonna go ahead and get me a burger or something like that. But I wanted to say thank you for everybody who joined here today, and like I said, obviously be weather aware out there. Continue to watch this. If you're new to the channel, like I said, I really don't I'm not going to force you to subscribe, but, consider it. That way you guys can continue to stay updated with the weather and all that stuff going on there. But anyways, you guys, once again, if y'all have any final questions before we roll off here, feel free to let me know, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But like I said, we're just going to start to wrap things up here pretty soon. Will this become a tornado potential storm this weekend? I don't think there'll be much of a tornado threat on it, considering the storms will likely be elevated, meaning the storm base is going to be higher than normal, which usually does not do very well with tornadoes. Not to mention lower level moisture is not too high, which is pretty much going to allow for tornadoes to not be as much of a concern. I think it's probably going to be more of like a damaging wind, maybe some hail concern with those cold core events. So it's most likely going to be hail and damaging winds. What time tomorrow will be live? Not too sure yet, but sometime in the afternoon, evening. Yeah, that's why you keep on post notifications on. That way, if I do go live, you get the alert. Good night, John. Thanks for joining. Let's see here. The transition to La Nina might make this severe weather worse. We'll see. I mean, that's going to be happening. Like I said, I think it's going to turn to neutral conditions late spring, early summer. So we're mostly going to be like towards like a weak El Nino, I'm thinking, for most of the severe weather event. Or most of the severe weather season, I should say, not event. Let's see here. Cool, I joined in late, so I missed a lot. Thanks. No problem, ADHD. Yeah, just go back into live stream if you want to re-go over everything we went over. Let's see. Joyce says, thank you, Andrew. Good night. All right, good night, Joyce. Thanks for joining. Good night, Darian. But all right, guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I'm going to go ahead and head over here to the ending screen, my friends. Once again, we did have a donator today. We had one donator, and that was Brandy, coming at a $4 donation on Cash App. Thank you so much, Brandy. If you guys would like to support us, we do have our links pinned up there in the comment. But like I said, obviously, you definitely don't have to do that. It's just there if you want to. Also, check out our cool merchandise, guys. We made a whole cool new store. If you guys want to check out our merch page, if you guys want to check out what we got on there, we got some cool tie-dye hats and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you want to check out our merch, take a look at that link that's going to be posting right below my message there. So there you go. But all right, y'all. Well, once again, thank you for joining, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your nights. And once again, we'll catch you all tomorrow at some point. You guys sleep good. Have a great day at work, school tomorrow, whatever you're doing. And all right, well, the stream's going to be heading off here in approximately 2 minutes. So if there's anybody else, or if there's anybody you want to go ahead and say goodbye to, friends, family, anybody else you're handling in chat, go ahead and say your final goodbyes. And until next time, my friends, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and a great day tomorrow. And we'll catch you guys later on. Peace out, my friends. Catch you in the next one.